Good morning. I'm Mark Allen with Gaper.io, and I'm here today with Chris Brenton, the CEO of Active Countermeasure. Good afternoon, Chris. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Mark?
Good. So can you share a brief background of yourself and your work experience?
Wow. So I've been in cybersecurity for probably about 30 years now.
Mhm.
I've done everything from education. I was a fellow instructor at the Sands Institute for a while. I've been involved with different security initiatives like Cloud Security Alliance, PCI. Spent some time helping startups kind of find their product market fit. So yeah, I've kind of done a little bit of everything.
Yeah, sounds like it. So what has been your experience with remote employment, both as an employee and an employer?
It's you need to be a better manager to have it be effective. One of the biggest problems I've seen is with sites where part of the workforce is on site, part of it is remote, is you end up with two different factions. You end up with the remote faction, where everything is done over Slack or some sort of IM communication. And then you have the on-site people. As management, you really need to make sure you're knitting those together. You need to find tools and processes that fit whether somebody's on-site or off-site to make sure that you don't end up with, separate teams heading off in different directions. That's probably been the biggest problem. With that said, if you solve that problem, it is such a benefit to your employees and it can endear them to you because you're being conscious of their time. They're not spending an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, traveling every day. That's time they get back that can go to the company, can go to personal time. Folks seem to really appreciate that.
Yeah, I agree that I'm in that category myself. So I have a 20-foot commute. It's wonderful.
Yes.
So what do you think is the future of remote employment, and what do you think could be done differently to make it more effective?
Yeah, so I don't think, so we're in the middle of dealing with the pandemic. A lot of states are on lockdown. A lot of folks have been kind of forced into this. I really think we're kind of here to stay, meaning that, at some point, the cautions will be lifted and we'll be told, yeah, you can go back to the office. And I really think we're going to see an awful lot of people saying, well, wait a minute, I've been productive and effective for, 30 days, 60 days, whatever it's happened to be. I want to keep doing this. I want to be able to have this capability still. So I think this is going to be a real change for that type of a workflow. And we're going to see an awful lot more of it going forward. Personally, the organizations I've been involved with for a while tend to work this way. And again, it's so long as it's managed properly, things run great, people are happy, and at the end of the day, happy people are more productive.
I agree. I think when the lockdown is lifted, I think everyone's going to want to go back to the office because they've been cooped up
Yes.
for about a week. And then I think it's like towards the end of that first week, people are going to say, hey, that was pretty nice. Can I work from home? I'll come into the office once a week and then I'll work from home 4.
Yes. People look at me funny when I wear sweatpants in the office, but I can do it home, no problem. So yeah, I'd like to go back to doing that on occasion. Yeah.
Yes.
I think as far as like the biggest challenges is, figuring out the management. I've been seeing stories of like folks that, they're working remotely, but they've got to leave their camera on so their boss can look at them to make sure they're actually working, or they need to IM somebody if they want to take a bio break. And it's like, part of this is recognizing you hired an adult. You can trust them as an adult. And if you can't trust them as an adult, maybe that's the wrong hire.
Yes. Or maybe you're the wrong boss for that person.
Exactly.
Right. So what's the story behind Active Countermeasures and what's the journey been like?
So we've been around for 2.5 years. We started off in stealth mode doing an open source product, converted that into a commercial product after that. But we've always been a remote organization. I'm located in Florida. I have 3 or 4 other employees that are also spread out in Florida. But I also have employees that are in New Hampshire, California, Chicago. The corporate office itself is in South Dakota. We do have a number of people that work out of South Dakota. As far as like getting together to work, we have an annual security conference that we put on, and we all get together as part of that. Outside of that, it's all virtual. Some of the folks in South Dakota, because we do have office space and it makes great for storage, there's not a lot of corporate stuff that goes on there. But I do have a couple of dev folks that just like to be able to get together and hang out physically. So they'll go hang out in the office on occasion. But beyond that, it's been, a remote solution. It works out great.
Cool. And is your annual conference in South Dakota, or do you do it in different cities every year?
No, it's in, well, so we were going to do it in San Diego in March, and then, life happened. So yeah, we do it in Deadwood, South Dakota. It's called Wild West Hackin' Fest.
Okay, cool. And just briefly, what does active countermeasures do? What is your product?
So the problem we solve is when a system is successfully compromised. When you look at the industry average, it usually takes about 6 months or more to figure out that that system's been compromised. Further, when you look at how do we detect that compromise, over 50% of the time it's by an outside entity, meaning that you've been broken into, somebody's running rampant on your network for 6 months, and you still don't find it yourself. It's somebody on the outside that sees something that indicates, yeah, you've been in a compromised state. So what we make is a tool that monitors the network, that looks for indicators of command and control, which is, hey, that internal system's been compromised and it's calling out to a system on the internet to get its marching orders. What should I be doing? We target that. And the nice thing about it is there's no agent to install on systems. We can protect, an awful lot of our customers have an awful lot of industrial Internet of Things devices. We can protect those just as easily. So it's targeting that channel and shortening that time period from 6 months to hours to when you can actually react and get that bad actor off of your network.
Wow, that sounds like a great product. So
it's a lot of fun. It is an awful lot of fun.
So there are companies like Gaper that help develop, build, and scale products, especially for startups. How important do you think such setups will be going forward, especially for startups and just companies in general that need to hire quality people in a hurry?
Oh, I think that's hugely helpful. One of the biggest problems you run into with a product is it becomes your baby. Mm-hmm. Like, ask any mom or dad, what is wrong with your 3 or 4 year old kid? And you're going to get an answer pretty close to nothing. They're perfect, right? We kind of lose that visibility. The same thing is true with software development. You kind of get used to your own quirks. It was kind of funny because we were doing a user study, and we contracted a third party to come in and do this. And I was watching an individual, and they were told to perform a certain function, go off and do this thing. And I remember thinking in my head, oh, that one's easy. You just do A, B, C, and you're done. And I watched the person sit there confused, clicking different things, not finding it. And, they eventually performed the task about 5 minutes later, but their response was, oh, that was easy. And I realized I know how to do that because I live with it every day. For all of our brand new customers, they're going through that same frustration. So to have an outside third party to be able to come in and kind of help with that product development, to help tune it with your customers, oh yeah, that's hugely important.
Yeah, it's interesting. Just recently, with the amount of people that went to Zoom, I'm used to it. I'm sure you're used to it. I've helped a lot of people through it because it seems intuitive, but it's not 100% intuitive.
Yes. How many people? And by the way, don't take screen caps and share them on Twitter. That's bad.
Yes. And it was funny. The amount of people thought it was so cool that I had a virtual background. It's like, you got 30 seconds. I'll show you how to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Chris, this has been fascinating. I want to thank you for your time today, and I wish you luck in the future.
Hey, thank you, Mark. I appreciate it.
All right, great. Have a great day.